That's my little no-slip socks. That's my gown. It opens to the back. My won't be out, so they can get to it easy.
Well, that's actor Will Smith making light of somewhat of a delicate topic. Earlier this month, he had his first colonoscopy and shared his experience with millions on social media. Well, it makes even a stronger point because doctors found and removed a precancerous polyp. Now, Dr. Conar Fitton joins us to explain who and why we need a colonoscopy. And it's a procedure that's needed, but a lot of people have a negative connotation of it just doesn't sound good, but it's important.
It's a very important procedure, and it's certainly, as we were saying earlier, it's not a day people circle on the calendar as looking forward to, you know, happy birthday, you turn 45 or 50, but the procedure itself is painless, and especially as the holidays come up, you know, what better gift to give your family than the gift of being around for them and getting it taken care of. So it's very important.
I had my first one at 50, and, you know, you're nervous. You know, the prep is probably the worst part, and you were saying that that's even getting better. But, you know, you're going into a doctor's office or a hospital, you're getting the needle, and you're going in, and it really wasn't that big of a deal. It really wasn't.
It's what everyone says when they wake up, almost 100% of the time, and it was really nice that Will Smith was able to share that and give, you know, kind of from the beginning all the way to the end his experience, because the procedure itself is 15 or 20 minutes. It's completely painless. You wake up for about 20, 30 minutes after that. The whole thing, as we were saying, hour and a half, 2 hours, really not that big of a deal.
And that's exactly the way it was with me.
Right.
You know, they give you the needle, then you go in and they do their thing. You wake up, and propofol is a medicine that you wake up pretty quickly.
Right. That's really.
You don't feel groggy all day.
No, it's you know, back in the day we were using kind of longer acting sedatives, and those are the videos you'd see where people would be on the way home and they'd be all loopy. This is so short acting, so people go to sleep very quick. It's completely amnestic, so, you know, it's a good experience. Wake up very quick, should feel perfectly normal that day.
So the prep to me was the worst part of it. But you're saying the prep is actually getting better now.
So yeah, so the preps are getting a little bit better. We're trying to lower the volume, obviously, because it is a large volume. You know, it's either half the night before, half the morning of, which is a little bit different than before. There's even some available now where you drink it all that morning, and you don't have to do anything the day before. But once we can get past that, everyone wakes up and says the same thing. So happy I finally got this done. You know, maybe ran out of had a polyp removed, but keeping healthy. And
it's so important because you hear of colon cancer and people who have colon cancer, and most of the time when you talk to those people and say, you know, did you ever have a colonoscopy? They'll say no. And it can be a life-saving procedure.
Yeah, and that's a lot of the issue we run into is people often say, well, why would I get it done? You know, I feel healthy. Well, that's exactly the time to get it done, because unfortunately with colon cancer, it's not something where you have a lot of symptoms oftentimes before it is advanced. So the time to do it is when you are feeling healthy, when you're not having symptoms, and that way we can prevent it from occurring in the future.
So let's talk a little about stats. You were saying that you have to really kind of keep up with, you know, you do 15 to 18 patients a day. I mean, that sounds like a lot, but 15, 20-minute procedure, that kind of adds up for the day. But people would be surprised at how many people do have precancerous polyps that they get removed, and normally it's not an issue, but when you hear that, it's kind of scary, but actually it's pretty common.
Yeah, when people wake up, you know, everyone's surprised to hear that they may have had 1, 2, or even more polyps that we remove. And that's the best part about colonoscopy, because it's not just diagnostic in that you're looking for the lesions, you're actually removing them while you're in there. But the metrics in GI are very heavily regulated to make sure that we're providing a quality procedure. At our location, we're almost 50% of patients getting screening exams are getting polyps removed, so it's very common.
Right. Okay, so very quickly, we're just about out of time. 50 is probably the age. If you have any type of history, probably 45?
Yeah, so 45 for all African Americans. We found a higher risk of colon cancer in that community, so 45. 50, you know, the American Cancer Society does recommend 45. Most organizations do say 50. Unless you have a family history. First-degree relative, colon polyps, colon cancer, we start earlier, 40, or sometimes even earlier than that for certain patients.
Sounds very good. Well, again, I've been through it. It's not that big of a deal. And as a doctor, you know, you say it's no problem. I've been through it, and it really could be life-saving.
We'll let you know when your next one's due.
Thanks, Doc. All righty.